Well, that was some living. Wow. Wow, that was beautiful. I think sometimes we go through life paying attention to the news rather than to our heart or our Christ consciousness. We listen to the news and we fear and we doubt. We look at the things going on around us and we think, well, there's proof. There's proof why I should be afraid of everyone and everything and why I should hide. And if I really shine, somebody's going to say something about me or put me down, so maybe I'll just hide in the corner, be the wallflower, and put in my time. We sometimes do that, don't we?
Yes.
We're putting in time for what? We're waiting for what? Death? So in the meantime, before death arrives, how about we decide to live?
Yes, amen.
To live fully and completely, to stand naked to the world, not, you know what I mean, right? Bearing our soul, bearing our light, allowing that to be the shining force for our existence, allowing that light to move forward so completely that people are drawn or attracted to our energy because we're not complaining, although if you listen to my husband, you'll find I do that sometimes. You're not complaining all the time, but rather you're living your best possibility and you're doing it fully. And you're doing it with a sense of abandon. And you're allowing the Christ within you to be seen, known, and felt by those around you. And in fact, it's so big and so bold that it actually inspires the people around you to maybe live a little louder, a little more creatively, to let their light shine as well. You see, we're all in this together. There's really only one thing going on, and it forms itself, and the way it forms itself is through our thinking. And some of us think, oh, well, little old me, that's small thinking. Why would we do that? But we do that sometimes, don't we? We think maybe we're insignificant, or Mama maybe told us when we were younger, calm down. Don't be the center of attention. Let somebody else share in the light. Well, you know what? There is enough light for all of us to shine.
Yes, ma'am.
Every one of us to shine. Every one of us to bring our gift, because each of us has a little different gift. A little different gift. Like I could invite Janet up here to give the lesson this morning. She might not want to do it. Her gift lies somewhere else, right? So we look at our lives and we go, I was created in the image of the likeness of the Creator. What does that mean? That I'm small, insignificant, broken, and flawed? Or does it mean that I am the image, I am the likeness, I am the possibility of something remarkable? And it doesn't mean necessarily fame and fortune. Living our remarkable self is living the life that we were given to live, whatever that might look like. And some of us live it through song. Some of us live it through dance. Some of us live it through writing. And some of us live it through caring for others. Some people love to clean houses. I love those people. Because I don't love that part, right? Some people love to, sing songs and tell stories and write books, and I love those people. I'm not one of them. I could do that, but it's not my greatest accomplishment. We need to find ourselves and give it to the world. Life is about living means that I show up in the life that I was given, that I don't look at myself and go, oh, I wish I was this or I wish I was that. We do that, don't we? Yes. I remember for a long time wanting to be, tall and blonde and, kind of like my daughter. But ain't going to happen. I need 8-inch heels and a good dye job. But we were created exactly right. Okay, so I want you to get that. You were created absolutely perfectly for the life that you are meant to live. And so it's your responsibility to actually live it. So in the book of Genesis, there's somewhere in there, oh yes, Genesis 1:31. And God saw everything that he made, and behold, it was very good. So how many of you looked in the mirror this morning and went, wow, look what God made. This is very good. All of you? Yeah, we sometimes go, oh no, look at that, the fangs in my eyes, but The truth is that we're created in the image and of the likeness, and if we begin to live from that idea, we begin to see how powerful and creative we are. It's not about the color of our hair or how tall or short we are. It's really about the essence of our quality of living in life. And so God created us absolutely unique and remarkable. And when we discover that unique, remarkable part of ourselves and we lovingly give it to the world, we begin to see life from a new perspective, and life sees us from a new perspective, and a change occurs. And it's not that we will never have another challenge in our life, it's just that we will deal with them from a different consciousness, because we will be living wholly and completely from the life we were given. And so I might complain about sore hips or a sore back or a headache, but who's going to listen anyway? So instead, why not laugh and sing and dance and do the very best you can with what you have in every moment? Right? We can stand up here and we can talk about what's possible. And when we talk about what's possible, we're putting a thought into the universe. And when we put that thought into the universe and we can manage that thought, what happens is the universe forms it in substance and we have something. You know, chairs weren't always around, but somebody had an idea, get my aching bones off the ground here. Put a little padding. Ah, that feels better. It was an idea first in mind, and now we just take it for granted because it's always there. Everything begins with a thought. So if you want to create the life of your dreams, I want you to think about the life of your dreams, but here's what we do. We start thinking about the life of our dreams, and maybe we tell our parents or we tell a best friend, and they go, oh, you know, that can't be done. Because I remember Mary Sue, when she tried to do that, she failed miserably. Or do you remember, 25 years ago when you tried to do that and it didn't work? Have we ever heard these stories? Yes. We want to stop listening to that and begin to listen within ourselves to the Christ that is speaking to us. Listen to that still small voice and say, okay, it's possible. And because it's possible, I'm going to hold the vision. I'm going to keep the vision in my mind. I'm going to keep my vision clear. I'm not going to necessarily share it with naysayers. I'm going to keep the vision in my heart and mind, and from there I'm going to begin to see it. And as I get clear, what happens is the invisible stuff of which everything is made, the God stuff, begins to form itself according to that vision or belief. You see, it's not about who's the most talented. It's not about who has the best contacts. It's not about who lives in the best town or city. It really is about the vision that we hold in our mind for our life. And if we can hold it, we can create it. I mean, Bob Dylan was a famous singer. Have you heard him sing? Yeah. Hello. Great lyricist. Right? It's not necessarily about the talent, it's about the belief in ourselves. And if we can believe in ourselves, if we can begin to look in the mirror and go, God created this, and this, whatever this is, has a desire to do something, and then we do it. And when we do it, maybe in the beginning we're a little tentative and it doesn't quite manifest how we want it, but we've got to keep the vision, keep it strong. Our thinking forms the matter. Now, if we look at science, quantum physics talks about everything's made of quarks, leptons, and space. Mainly space. Well, I don't really look like space, but that's mainly what I am. And so what they also discovered is that when you think into this substance, it begins to form. And it will change depending on who's thinking. So maybe we should think differently. Sometimes we're thinking about everything that can go wrong, rather than thinking about everything that could go right. We're thinking about, well, I've got this dream, but, I don't know if I can make it happen because, I'm not the smartest, or I'm not the tallest, or I'm not the brightest. One of my wonderful nieces, 5'8", loved basketball. And they kept saying, well, you can't play basketball because you're too short. And she said, yeah, but I'm going to play anyway. I'm going to try out anyway. And she always made the team. Do you know why that is? Because she knew she could play basketball and she was going to show them, height or no height, she was going to play. And she always did. She always got to play. There's a thing about us that we need to remember. That is that our thinking is guiding everything that occurs. And so when I check in and I find that my thinking is a little astray, that my thinking has gone off in some place where I'd rather it didn't, I need to bring it back. Who is thinking your thoughts for you? I am. Oh, okay. So you get to control them, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we go through life sometimes thinking that somehow somebody else is controlling our thinking. The media, the news, our parents, our siblings, our neighbors, our friends. Only if you let them. You are the power in your mind. You are the power. You are the one thinking your thoughts. What is it that you're thinking about? Are you thinking about the ways in which you are going to create a remarkable life, or are you thinking about the ways that you're going to fail at it? We sometimes do that. We sometimes tell ourselves, well, I don't know if I could do that. If you've had the desire, if you've had the thought, if the idea is coming to you, then you are the one to do it. That still small voice inside is the Christ speaking to you about who you really are. And sometimes along the road, you are going to stumble and fall. Do you know what happens to little children when they're learning to walk? They fall a lot. But what do? They get up. They get up. What is that song? A saint?
It's just a sinner.
Just a sinner who got up. Are you ready to get up? Are you ready to stand in your life? You know, there's so many people going, well, you know, I don't have enough money for this. I don't have enough money for that. You know, there's not enough money to go around. That is an idea in mind, and it isn't the truth. It is an idea held by many people that excuses our poverty. But the truth is, poverty is an idea in mind. Why not think about wealth and love and sharing and plenty? Why don't we think about plenty instead of thinking about, oh, well, there's just not enough to go around? Change our thinking, we change our experience, we change our life. You know, there is plenty to go around. You know, there's enough food in this country alone to feed the world. Do we do it? Why not? Fear, right? So we want to check in with our thinking, and we check in it day by day. We're living life fully when we check in and we go, am I living from the Christ, or am I living from an outer manifestation that I see in front of me, which of course has already been created? I see this manifestation, I go, oh, let me just pull myself back. I'm not going to live too loudly right now because look at this, it might hurt. Yes, it might. But you know, we have a choice. We have a choice. I've discovered something recently, that when I'm preaching or teaching, when I'm coaching or counseling, interestingly, I feel really good. I don't have pain in my body. I'm able to stand for long periods of time. But when I'm not, I can barely walk. Doctor says I need a hip replacement. Either that or I need to work 24/7. Okay? We tell ourselves stories. You see, when I'm doing this, I'm not focused on, you know, how do my hips feel? How does my back feel? I'm not even thinking about that. I'm even wearing high heels today, and I'm not thinking about that. But yesterday, when I was crawling out of my car, it was like, whoa, you know, I'm 92. Well, not quite, but felt like it. But life is telling us stories, right? And we get to take a look at, you know, how does life work for us or not work for us? And when it's working for us, why is it working for us? And can we take a look at the areas where it's not? And when I'm feeling really lost and I'm feeling really tired and I'm feeling like I don't know how to make it work, can I, in that moment, surrender? We did that meditation at the beginning, I surrender. When we surrender, it means we let go of this image out here and we return to this in here, where we recognize our oneness with God, and from this place we say, show me, lead me, and guide me. From this place, we don't give up hope because we have an ache or a pain or money's tight or we just lost our job or our beloved. Instead, we go into the I know that all is good. All is good. And God saw that he had made everything, and behold, it was good. It was good. So what would make you think that you're not? And I'm not too concerned with what you did last night, but don't tell me. Nobody shared no secrets here. We're not gonna, it's not an A group. We are here to remember who we are and to remember what is possible. And whatever's going on in your life today, if money is tight, I want you to surrender into the one and say, there is enough. I know there is enough. And then watch what happens. If there's some love missing in your life, I want you to go deep within yourself and find that love and that compassion and that joy. And I want you to give it everywhere you look, every person you see. The person that you really don't want to love, I want you to love them so completely. And I'm talking about an energy of acceptance, an energy of, this is my brother or my sister. And so I choose to see them in that way. If you're having a challenge with your children, your teenagers, I want you to just visualize them as the Christ, to see them as love, and then watch what occurs. When you think about them, think only love, like how complete and perfect they are, even as they stumble. Did we ever stumble? Yes. I stumbled a whole ton of times. I think I'm still stumbling on occasion, but you know what? It's the stumbling that brought me to this. Amen. It's the stumbling that took me to Christ. It's the stumbling that took me to that place of, whoa, this is an illusion. This is a previously conceived idea that I can change by thinking a new thought. What? Let me think a new thought. How easy is that? But we think it's hard, don't we? I can't change my life. It's hard to change my life. Jesus walked on water. How hard could it be? Lake Ontario's right there. Let's go check it out. Maybe in January. The thing is that whatever we believe to be the truth about life is our truth about life. And so if we want to see a different world, if we want to see a different life, if we want to have a different experience, if we want to have more money than bills, if we want to have the love of our life, if we want to begin to create a career that satisfies and fulfills, then we must take charge. We must start living the life that we were given by God. Not the life that the world says is, oh, we're in a recession, stop spending. Oh, this is going on. Oh, don't go out at night because somebody's going to get you. They might. But does that mean you stop living because somebody might come out and hurt you? No. I love having little ones in the crowd because they always say the right thing at the right time. We're too polite. We hear stories of people being hurt and being victimized, and yes, it happens. But what do we do with it? Do we allow it to change how we live? Do we decide that, I'm going to lock myself in my home for the rest of my life and never show my face outside my door because somebody might get me? I hope not. I think we need to stand and shine and be who we are and allow that light and love to go out and touch the corners of the universe and take our song and our music. How many of you love to sing but can't? Sing anyway. I surrender all. Sing anyway, because what does singing do? I roll up the windows in my car. We were driving with some of Genevieve's friends the other day. She turned to them and said, this is a singing car. That's what you need to know about this car, is we're singing. And that's what happens, We roll. See, she knows it's right. And I'm sure some of you do this. You roll them down. My daughter rolls them down and sings out the window to everybody. We can do that, right? It's about freedom. Children have the freedom to just be. They're smarter than us. We started off little and we just said what we wanted to. We ran around church. We jumped up on the podium. We did whatever we wanted, and it was all good to us. Wow, yeah. The adults might have been thinking differently, but the children knew, man, this is a place of joy. This is a place of celebration. This is a place to have fun and excitement and to really feel alive. Don't you think that's what church should be? Yes. Yes, we should be here, and when we're here, we feel really good, and we're smiling big, and we're rejoicing in the Christ, and we're beginning to see the Christ in each one of us, and we're living most fully. And then when we leave here, we take that energy with us. And we go out in the world and we're just grooving and having a good time, and people are looking at us like, what you been drinking? But it's okay because we've been drinking the good stuff. We've been drinking the good stuff, and we can invite them to come here and, have a little with us too. Right? Life is for living, not for putting in time. We got to stop putting in time, and we got to stop being fearful of each other. We have to begin to, I think, is my personal opinion, I think we need to really celebrate who we are, and when we look in the mirror in the morning and go, yeah, look what God created. This is awesome. And take that into the world. Take that out in the world. Go out and show people what Christ really is. Not something broken down and suffering and, life is hard. Life is hard if you name it that. It says it right in the book of Genesis. God said to Adam, name everything. And what you name it, that's what it will be. Have we read this book? I know it's new to me, but as you read it and you begin to look at it, name a thing, and that's what it will be. I hate my work, it's so hard. Oh yeah, okay. Money, the root of all evil. Okay. We have these beliefs that are running that we don't even recognize that are running, and we want to interrupt them and begin to go, no, 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 no. God is love, and everything is good because God created it, so it's all good. It must be good, and I am demanding to see the good in it now. And we begin to see that good, and we start to realize, like, wow, what's going on here? And something wonderful, wow, yeah, something wonderful begins to happen. We begin to celebrate more and play more. We begin to let people see who we are. Ministers aren't perfect. Did you know that? We had lives. We made mistakes. Probably still make a few. We're living life like you are. We're spiritual beings in the process of becoming, but what are we becoming? Dead? Or are we becoming life itself, just eager to express and to be? Are we willing to begin to do that? Are you willing to take your gifts and talents and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give my gifts away to the world, and I'm going to just give and give and give, and I'm going to be so grateful. Because, we surrender into the one, and the other piece is gratitude. We need to feel gratitude for what is. Because sometimes we look at what is and we go, oh, I need it to be different. That was me yesterday when I was hobbling out of the car. I don't need this to be different. I need to be okay with what is and then say, now what? What am I going to do with this? What have I learned from this? What has awakened in me as a result of a health challenge? What has awakened in me as a result of a career challenge? What has awakened in me as a result of challenges with my teenagers? Well, they're not teenagers anymore, but I got one coming up. What are we doing with our lives? We were each given one. And the funny thing about it is we don't know the end date for this experience. We don't know that. And because we don't know that, I think it's a really good idea to live this one, this moment, like it might be the last. Live this moment so fully, so completely, with so much love and passion and joy and excitement, that by living it, we know that if it ended the next second, we'd go, yes, I did it my way and I did it all, right? That's what we want to do. We want to get to the end, used up, burnt out, like we've really shared our gift. We were given a gift. Everyone was given a gift, not a select few. I think sometimes we look at the famous and we look at the wealthy and we go, oh, wow, I wish I could be them. No, 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 no. You don't even know the half of their lives, so I wouldn't wish that. What you want to wish for is that you could live so fully, that you could experience the fullness of your life, not somebody else's. I want to be on the radio like Shem, but I don't want to be Shem. I couldn't handle that height. Right? Like, we want to take a look at, I have a life. Am I willing to live it? And when I'm not, things happen. The hips get sore. The back aches, the knees ache, right? We've got to get more fully into life, because when we're fully connected to it, we begin to move forward. Everyone has a right to a fulfilled life, and every life is always increasing. Unless we stop it. And what stops it? My thinking. I think life is hard, I get to be right. I think my job is difficult, I get to be right. I think I'm a loser, I get to be right. I think everybody's against me, I get to be right. Or I can turn around and go, all right, come on, life. Bring it! And I am going to have me a grand slam home run. Oh, I'm holding the ball wrong, right? Should we do that? She did a camp with the Blue Jays, so she was showing me how to hold the ball. Yeah, I don't know. Baseball, not my thing. But life is about showing up as who you are, and it's allowing everything to flow and move through you so that you become a model for change in the world. Every one of us who's willing to be seen. And when you're willing to be seen, that means some people aren't going to like you. So get over it. Some people aren't going to like you. Oh well, so sad for them, eh? Because you're pretty wonderful, so everybody should love you. It's up to us. When we look at the world around us, and we go, oh, it's broken and flawed. No, it isn't. In religious science, which is the organization that I was ordained through, the Centers for Spiritual Living, they created a slogan which I find kind of odd. But they created a slogan, a world that works for everyone. That's their vision. And I'm thinking, the world already does work for everyone according to their consciousness. So that slogan isn't really taking us anywhere, I don't think. A world that works for everyone. What I'd like to see is a world that is awakening. I'd like to see a world where we're celebrating each other. I'd like to see us taking the fear and going, yeah, okay, I know, I got you, but let me just put you back here for a minute so that I can really get into this. And I was watching the Amazing Race Canada, and there was a father-daughter team, and the father didn't know how to swim. And one of the things he had to do was jump off of a diving board thing, or anyway, a high platform, into Lake Ontario and swim to the edge. And he's standing there, and she's all freaked out because he's got to do this thing, and he doesn't know how to swim. He's never been in water without a life jacket, and he doesn't have a life jacket. And he's standing up there thinking, oh no, am I going to even live through this? Right? But I got to do this thing. And he jumped. That's faith, man. That is faith. And I watched him. I had tears in my eyes. I'm watching TV, and I'm crying, going, oh my God. And of course, he flails along, gets to the side. He did great. Him and his daughter are like celebrating, because that was a big moment. That's a more real fear than us going, well, I'm afraid to try painting because, my heart wants to paint, but I'm not going to paint because I might not be good at it. Your heart wants to paint, you paint. Your heart wants to sing, you sing. And if you're singing off key, go get a voice coach. Correct it, right? You want to be a writer? Then sit down with your computer or pen and paper, however it works for you, and write. You want to play the trumpet or the trombone? Play it. Do the things that make you feel alive. Scream if you want to scream. Do what makes you feel alive. When you watch little kids, man, they're going from one thing to the next, but they are fully present. They are alive in the moment. They're having an experience. They're running here and there. They're in ice cold water, and then they're shivering and freezing, and we're avoiding the cold water because we know what will happen. We'll be shivering, freezing later. But the fun of running through the sprinkler, do you remember the fun of running through the sprinkler? Getting all that water, that ice cold water all over you, that's living. Life is for living. And the more you give into it, the more you get from it. The more you give into it, the richer, the more fulfilled, the more satisfied you will be on all fronts. You will have more money. If you're worried about money, you are going to be worried about money, because whatever you name a thing, that's what it gets to be. But if you look at money and go, that's just God flowing in my finances, and I know God is plentiful, what happens is in time, that plenty will show up. And so we got to reframe our thinking moment by moment, day by day. We have to think about what it is we really want. We need to set our desire, our plan, and our focus, and then we've got to stick to it. We create that vision and we stick to it. My daughter had a friend who said, well, we can't be friends anymore. And Genevieve says, well, what about when I win an Academy Award? And her not friend said, I'll be there. Yeah, you'll be there then. What about now? But I thought, good on you, an Academy Award. I love that, because I will be there. Y'all can watch it on TV or come tell later. Y'all invited. The thing is, we have to dream big. That's a beautiful big dream for an aspiring actress, right? We want to dream big. We want to begin to see the life that we really want and not settle for less. Somebody coined this phrase, and I've used it for years and I love it. When you settle for less than what you really want, you get less than you settled for. Let's not settle anymore. Let's not settle for less than our greatness. And every one of us, our greatness is different. Our greatness is different. What is yours? What is it about you that makes you so unique, special, and remarkable? What is it about you that is so easy that when you do it, you go, oh, it's just simple. And sometimes when something's really easy for us, we think it's not valuable. But just because it's easy for you doesn't mean it's easy for me. You know, it's easy for me to stand up here and talk to a crowd. Doesn't matter how big the crowd is. But Janet doesn't want to come and take my place. I don't understand. Are there a few of you who wouldn't want to come up here and take my place? Yeah. Public speaking is supposed to be one of the biggest fears. I don't get it. But many do. My husband is a comedic actor. Not everybody can do that. Stand up and be funny. You know, really bring a room together through humor. But he can. And it just comes natural. He sees life in a way that is funny to him. And he can share that with others. And it really makes a difference. What is it about you? I invite you to really think about the thing that you do that's so easy, so comfortable, so natural. And then look at how you can give that to the world. Live it fully. Live it completely. Give yourself permission to be you. Don't look at other people and see what they're doing. None of your business. Like Evan says, be the CEO of your own life. Don't try to be the CEO of somebody else's, because it never works. But we're so busy looking at what everybody else is doing, we're missing what it is that we are meant to do. I invite you to begin to live your life. And to live it so big, so loud, so beautifully, that everybody around you goes, wow, what are you doing different? Because you are shining, glowing. Be a model for what you want in the world. Model a behavior. Model the life. Be authentically you. Never measure yourself by somebody else. Never measure yourself by someone else's accomplishments. Look at you and go, am I doing the best I can do with my gifts today? And if the answer is yes, give yourself one of these, because nobody else will probably. Give yourself a good pat on the back and say, thank you. Thank you, God. Bless you.